Why I love buy now, pay laters is simply because they offer interest free and I don't have to use my over 30 something percent credit cards to pay for something I know it's going to take me a little longer than 30 days to pay for. If you are interested in knowing how I, by the grace of God, never defaulted on a loan and how I never go over 3 months to pay for anything, then stay tuned to this video. If you're looking for a credit repair system where you want real results, you want dispute letters tailored to your individual accounts. You don't want to have to wait on a company to say they're sending these letters out and they're not sending them. You want to, with a click of a button, have these letters done. Look no further than my credit repair credit score IQ. Click the link in my bio. Once you click that link, you go to Credit Score IQ. Once you open that up, you sign up. There are videos that show you exactly how to get these disputes tailored to your particular accounts. Once those disputes are made within 8 seconds or so, you're going to print them and mail them. So, with a click of a button, you could have the disputes that are tailored to your particular account in no time. No more $1,500, no more $3,000 to a credit repair system or a credit repair company. You want these done just for you, $29.99. Sign up today. Now, why I use the buy now, pay laters is yes, because it's offering interest free and I don't have to use my credit cards. I mean, who wants to swipe $30 for something just to know that you paid $40 for it because of the interest that was accumulated from the credit card? So typically, I will get a new credit card, zero interest, that is, credit card for 12 to 15 months. I'll get that typically every 2 years. So in between those times, I might use a buy now, pay later. But the reason why I did that in the first place or went to them in the first place is because of those two reasons, and I set boundaries. But before I tell you what my boundaries are so that you too can be successful and never default on loans, is I like to say what people are saying about the buy now, pay later. Pay later. You will typically see me look down at my notes to make sure I cover all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bullet points. So what people are saying about buy now, pay laters, they're not saying good things about them. Um, I've heard where people said that you tend to pay more for things. That's not been a downfall for me, and I really can only speak for me, is because I know it's coming from my checking account. You cannot put a credit card under a Klarna or a Firm or any buy now. You cannot put a credit card there. They don't allow you. I've tried. It only comes from your checking account, and because I know it's coming from my checking account, baby, we not taking away from what's coming out of that checking account. I am very guilty of buying more when I have used my credit cards in the past, but not a buy now, pay later. So not everything you hear about them are typically bad. Now, I have heard where people default on their loans. That's another thing I've heard people say negatively about buy now, pay later. And there's lots of criticism. I'm only going to cover a couple. But as far as the not defaulting on the loan, you got to be careful. You got to set some boundaries, because the reason I don't default, or have, by the grace of God, have never defaulted, is because I've set boundaries. And yes, I do know of people who have defaulted on it, and it's on your credit report. Like, no, we don't want this on your credit report. No. And the only time it goes on your credit report, well, for certain ones, is if you default on it. Now, Affirm and Klarna are the only two I've seen that will hit the credit report no matter what. But if you default, any of them are coming on that credit report. Baby, we don't want to mess up nobody's credit called our own. So that's never an option. So what I do though is I've set boundaries. I knew that I wanted interest free. I knew that I wanted to not go to my credit cards because interest was there. So the boundary that I set was that I'm not going over 3 months of anything that I can pay for. So it always gives you those options though. It'll say 3, 6, 12, 15. I think I haven't seen any longer than 24 months. Maybe there are 36 months. I don't know. But I haven't seen them over 15 months of being offered. Anything that has interest on it, we're not doing it. Not doing it at all. I avoid those. So it's either the 3 or the 6 month options I've seen that have zero interest, but I already told myself in the beginning, we're not going over 3 months. And so that was the 3 month thing. Oh, and another thing, I pay mine off early. I'm going to tell you about how I've used them because I've used no more than $1,500, and I'm going to tell you how I paid them off early too. But the last thing is, I don't use no more than two at a time. And when I say two at a time, two stores at a time. Now, typically, right now, I know that I have three, and I'm going to show you those three. But the reason I was like, okay, it's okay for me to have three. Yeah. I'm going against one of my disciplines, but not too far left. One of them is like $11, and the other one is $2.99. So the $2.99 matters more because that one is 3 months. And then there's another one that's $67, and that's on a firm. So you'll probably see that on the screens pop up if you haven't already. So boundaries have to be set though. So if you know that you're going to go outside of those boundaries, don't do it because you don't want to, like Myron Golden say, steal from your future or borrow from your future, because I'm not trying to borrow from anything, baby. I want to stay in the present. And although I will not go over two of them, there are times where I'll say I'm done. So like in January, I'm done because I will use one for Christmas. And then I think around maybe March. No, I didn't do it for March. I did it for June because in June there are a few birthdays and then there's Father's Day right there. So those gifts are a little bit more than what I want to spend that's in my checking account. And so I will use it around June and around Christmas. Outside of those times, I'm not doing too much. I'm not doing a buy now, pay later period. But I do love them for the times that I need them. And those are the stipulations that I have set according to that. Now, discipline is key. You got to be disciplined for sure. Like one of the ways that I'm disciplined is I already have in place automatic payments to my 401k or automatic payments to the investments or automatic emergency fund. There is an emergency fund that gets automatically paid to every time I get paid. Like, baby, we're not touching it. I don't care if I foreclose on my home. I'm not touching the emergency savings for nothing. So if I don't have it in the checking account, that's why I go to the buy now pay later. But what's another thing? I have, oh yeah, and you gotta know that you have credit card discipline. So the buy now pay laters are just really like anything that you've ever knowingly or unknowingly have discipline to. Like if you know you're not disciplined with credit cards, you're not going to be disciplined with a buy now pay later. Or you can just test the discipline. There are about maybe, I don't know, 7 years. 7 years ago, I paid off, I think it was five credit cards, and they were high limits. And I gave those cards to my oldest daughter who was in college 2 hours away. And when I gave them to her, I said, do not give these back until I'm done completely with these cards. It took me 9 months to pay those off. I didn't know at the time, but I was developing a discipline for not using my credit cards, which is why it's easy for me to say, I'm not going to use interest. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that because I've done it. So I trust myself. So you got to have a discipline and set in place for that. Now, which brings me to my story. I currently have three things that are on buy now, pay later. I have two on Affirm and one on Klarna. No, I'm saying it backwards. I have two on Klarna and one on Affirm. And yes, my limits are where they are. You'll probably see those on the screen if you haven't already. But this summer, when I want to say the end of May hit or the beginning of June hit, I needed a lot of stuff. Some of it I needed, some of it I wanted. The refrigerator broke down. Not really the whole thing, just the part where it has the ice going. So I asked my husband, I mean, do you want to pay the 284 for that? He was like, no, let's get a new ice maker. Okay, fine. We got a new ice maker, and I think that might have been $400. And then my back was hurting so bad, so we replaced the mattress topper. I thought it was my couch. I was about to replace the couch as well, but after replacing the mattress topper, I was fine. Then we wanted an air fryer, so the air fryer is what we got. And what else did we get? A couple other things that we got, and so most of it we just paid cash for. But then I had to put three things on the buy now pay later because, like I said, we're not using the credit cards right now because the credit cards got too much interest. So I was good with those, right? And then, however, I had the awesome idea, and this is one of those things where when you're off work, your mind starts to wonder about what else could you do? Like what trip can you, or what could you renovate? So I decided I wanted to renovate my bedroom. So in renovating my bedroom, I had a whole list of things that I needed to buy: lamps, comforters, and that's how I put all of this in my Amazon cart. And there was a couple of other sites that I had these carts full of all the stuff that I needed: carpet installation, all of this, right? And then there are these shelves. They're like shoe, not shoe shelves necessarily, but they're like cases, shoe cases. And I needed about seven of them. So the price was like $459. But what happened was Amazon had their Amazon deals, and it went from 459 to about 328. So in the event that it was 328, I decided that let me see if I can squeeze this on a buy now pay later app. And so when I looked at it, I saw interest. So why a firm is offering interest right now is beyond to me. I did hear one of my students in my class say that they're losing interest, that the buy now pay later app people or companies, they're losing interest, and they're going to start offering interest for those that are going to use their services. So I was no longer offered the interest, but I wanted these shelves so bad because the Amazon deal was an extra like 130 dollars off, like $130 something to save. Oh my God. So this is where you'll need an accountability partner. So anytime you know that you're going to go over something that you said, grab yourself an accountability partner. And that's what I did. So mine is my husband. So I said, hey, what if we get the shelves and I can, it's only $32 in interest? He said no. I asked him again the next day. I said, hey, these prime deals are only 3 days. We need to take advantage. He said no. And I know that I don't want to get them no way because it will be going outside of the realm that I've set for myself, the boundaries that I've set for myself, the discipline that I've set for myself. But he said no. And then I woke up again and I said, I'm just going to go ahead and get them. He said, okay. So when he said, okay, I just thought, I'm going against whatever I said I was going to do. And if I go against it now, I'll always bend. So I'm not going to get them. And I didn't get them. So I stayed within my realm. And that is why I love the buy now pay later. It's because they offer interest free. And I don't have to use my credit cards. Now, why, like I said, why a firm is starting to offer interest, and it's only on select stuff. And I don't know why it's on select stuff. Might have to have a talk with them, see what they're doing, because they're messing up my plan. But regardless, this is why I love buy now pay later, because the boundaries that I've set, no interest, and I don't have to use my credit card, and I stay within my means. And yes, I have all the setups of auto pay for my investments, auto pay for the emergency savings, auto pay for the, yeah, SoFi and what have you. But yes, thanks for watching. And you too can be disciplined with your buy now, pay later.
Be sure and check out the next video that's in the corner.